Hey everybody, this is Team Demon Kitty here, and we're back with some more Friendsim. It'll hopefully be pretty fun. Also, if you didn't see our last stream, congratulations to everybody living in America, because it is Inauguration Day. Just need to put that out, in case anyone didn't see our last video.
Yes, also, check out our coffee. We have that.
Yes, we do. We do have a coffee. We're probably going to be doing the 11 o'clock for now on, just in case anyone didn't see our Twitter announcement. Because it's just scheduled for scheduling reasons. We have to do 11 o'clock now, but hope everyone can understand. It'll still go for 12, so if you jump in late, that's fine. It's really chill. No problems there. But yeah, let's get started. Alright, yeah, here we are. Oh, we have Marvus today. Okay. You crash-landed on Alternia 16 long episodes ago, and sometimes you feel like you've been here forever. You've had many adventures and met many alternatives. Adventures is one way to call it, as one way to say it. Some/all/none of whom have become your friends. But now, for some reason, you have a hunch that you're near the end of your Alternian travels. For one thing, you seem to be coming to the edge of the populated region you've been walking for all the time you've been here. For another, the intense craving that has animated you throughout your journey feels like it might be waning. It's not quite gone, but it feels like a diner who stuffed himself to bursting, but is still seeking that last, sweet morsel that will make his meal complete. You're still on the prowl for the very sweetest morsel of friendship. Well, okay. I think we should go with Fozer, because, like, Marvus is gonna probably be pretty intense. I'm just calling it now. I don't know much about Fozer. He was kind of left somewhat of a mystery. He kind of bothered me a little bit, but... because he's, like, pro-fascism. But, yeah.
Whichever.
Let's do Fozer and get it out of the way. What?
Personally, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's routes, because those promise to be completely, like...
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know what they promise to be, but they promise to be something.
Oh, yeah, those are gonna be pretty dude. I mean, like, yeah, you got, like... Durea, and then you got the fucking wrestler chick. Yeah, like, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be pretty good. I mean, alright, do you wanna, I think you should, I don't know, do you wanna, I'm better at clowning, so do you wanna read Fozer?
I have no concept of how this fucking person is gonna sound. I can probably do Marvus too, honestly. Whatever.
I mean, I don't have any concept of how this person's gonna sound either, so why don't we just get to them and then decide?
Yeah, okay.
Alright. I guess, like, I'll start, I can start off narrating. If that's okay.
Okay.
Alright. The night has turned foggy, and you can't see far in any direction, but you seem to be surrounded on every side by bare ground. Hummocked and... is that a word?
Hummocked.
Okay, hummocked. Okay. And pitted almost like a weird abstract sculpture covered with greenish moss. Okay. Based on the experiences you've had with Alternian flora, you imagine the moss is probably poisonous, acidic, explosive, or something of that nature. Suddenly, a shadow looms up out of the darkness, making you jump, but it's only a leaning signpost. As you move closer, you can see that the sign says, "Welcome to Happy Absence Pit Park." Well, okay. Before you can figure out what that might be, you hear a voice muttering to itself in the fog, and a sound like dirt being shoveled.
The fuck? Okay, shovel, tail, and trouble oblets of the world unite.
Do you want me to try this?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, I'll do this. You can narrate. I'll do this. Shovel, 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 toiling trouble, lowbloods of the world unite. Is that better?
Sure, you said shovel one too many times, but whichever.
Okay.
You move cautiously toward the voice until the figure of a troll emerges from the fog. He seems to be digging in the hard, bare ground. Well, of course it's a troll. This is Alternia. The fuck did you think you were going to find?
There is a tide in the affairs of trolls which taken it the flood leads on to the workers' paradise.
You clear your throat, and the troll turns swiftly.
Who's there? Who's there, I say?
You announce soothingly that you're just a poor wayfaring stranger.
Traveling through this world. No, sorry. Not a ghost or any nonsense like that.
You confirm that you are not.
Good, because I don't believe in them. I'm a dialectal materialist. Well, if you're not a ghost, who are you?
Dialectical materialist.
Dialectical, blah.
Which is to say that he's a troll Marxist? Question mark?
I guess I'm wrong. I guess he's a troll Marxist. This game is proving me wrong. I'm just going off the small interaction we had with him in Hiveswap, which wasn't much.
Well, so dialectical materialism is Marxist analysis. Also keep in mind that, like, plenty of people who claim dialectical materialism are basically fascists anyway. On the basis that, while Marx was not a fascist, a lot of the political regimes that have attempted to implement, or at least claimed to be attempting to implement, his vision have been essentially fascist.
So I wasn't wrong. Because he talks like one in Hiveswap, so I guess I wasn't wrong.
Also, that shovel is really weird.
It is. That is a strangely shaped shovel. Also, hello to the people that just jumped in. But yeah, that is a very strange shovel. You're right about that.
You explain that you're a humble alien who recently, well, not so recently, landed, well, crashed on Alternia, and who's been looking ever since for, hear you blushingly trail off into a mumble.
Okay,
The troll snorts and comes close to study you. His breath is not of the freshest. Well, at least he put away the shovel.
Well, an alien. Well, you are the color of cheese, but it could be makeup. You could be a high blood in disguise. Come to watch poor little Fozer Valise pursuing his humble profession, a pit perturbator, for some unknown reason of your own.
Fozer rubs the exposed skin of your arm to see if the makeup will come off. It doesn't, but he's still suspicious.
Dude! I'm pretty sure we're not. I don't know, like... This guy's not the smartest person in this game, as far as I know. A real alien would know what outer space is like. Describe outer space to me.
You describe attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion, and watching sea beams glitter in the dark near of the Tannhauser Gate. You express the belief that all those moments will be lost in time like tears in rain. These authentic depictions seem to satisfy Fozer. He nods his head and seems to think. He doesn't appear to be a fast thinker. Finally, he seems to have an idea.
Do the cheese entities where you come from have a strong consciousness of class struggle?
You have no idea what he's talking about, but you were always good at guessing the right answer on multiple choice tests. You assure him that people where you come from have such a strong consciousness of class struggle that they use it to jack up their cars when they get flat tires. A big smile overspreads Fozer's face, and he bumps his fist in the air.
Well, I mean, pleased to meet you, comrade alien. All power to the workers. I imagine that finding me performing the honest labor of the working class makes you feel right at home.
You assure him that it does.
Sky.
I'm confused as to what the fuck he's actually trying to accomplish digging all of these holes, more than I'm feeling at home.
I think they're probably graves. I don't know, I suspect that they're graves. I
That
highly
would
suspect.
make the most sense.
This is probably a graveyard. I'm just calling it now. I think he's an undertaker. But, yeah. I suppose that you wish you could share the simple proletarian joys and sorrows of the alternative oppressed classes.
We already have,
This guy
dude.
needs to talk. We need to introduce this guy to Cancri. I don't know. I feel like they'd have an interesting interaction.
That seems likely.
We need to introduce this guy Cancri. I think they would have a good interaction. Well, not good, but
The problem
interesting.
with that is that Cancri is that this is Alternia, and any version of Cancri that we could introduce him to has been dead for over 1,000 years.
That's kind of true. You're right about that.
You're not sure what proletarian means, thus demonstrating that Slappy is an idiot and hasn't. Like, I haven't read Marx, but I know what proletarian means.
I've read Marx. It was required reading at one point.
But sharing joys and sorrows sounds like a hopeful prelude to friendship. So you say you were just thinking that you would like to share that kind of joys and sorrows. Also, again, we've been involved with the Alternian proletariat already. Like, I don't know, Skilla, for example? She's a farmer. You can't really get more proletariat than that.
That's pretty true. I mean, that is incredibly true. That's true. Easily done, comrade. Here, take this soil perturbation lance. You can enter into solidarity with the alternative working class right now. No, don't thank me. Freedom, brotherhood, and equality is my motto. Conduct your I can't pronounce it. Perturbations? Right here, if you please.
He points to where he was shoveling, and you begin shoveling there too.
Okay.
The moss that covers the ground is as tough as leather, and the Alternian soil is rocky, hard, and unforgiving. No surprise there, and before long you're sweating profusely, but no exertion is too great for the pursuit of friendship. I mean, realistically speaking, it could be like that digging on Earth, too.
Yeah.
Fawzer watches you labor with brotherly satisfaction.
Also, this is still less of a price to pay for friendship than any interaction with Zebra, honestly.
That's true. This guy isn't Zebra, so it's progress.
It is slightly. Yeah, he's not.
He's also neither cuprum nor follicle.
That's also true. That's also true. Class solidarity is a wonderful thing, isn't it? From each Shikori to his ability, to each Shikori to his need. You look like a walking cheese, but your muscular development is impressive. So just to pass the time while you labor in solidarity, what do you think of our planet? What has been your impression of it on your visit from outer space? I'm gonna save. I think we might just botch this, so I'm gonna fucking save. It's always a good call to save in this game.
I'm going to let you choose on the basis that my decision-making has gotten us worse endings than yours in this game. And frankly, I'm
gonna say, okay, knowing this guy from Hiveswap, I'm gonna say it's neither good nor bad. I'm gonna say that. I don't know. I think that's probably I might fail us here, but that's my gut kind of tells me to say that.
Also, it's nicely non-committal.
Yeah.
As a guest, it's only polite to say nice things about your host's home planet. Besides, meeting Fozzer has stoked your desire for a sweet friendship morsel, and a little praise and flattery often goes a long way to make people like you. Slappy, you're a douche. Also an idiot because you don't know what a dialect... because you don't know what proletarian means? By the way, if anyone here, does it proletarian just means working class, basically? Working class in this case indicates that you make your living by working rather than by owning business or property from which you can profit.
Yeah.
More specifically, proletarian usually refers to people who make their living through their labor and also aren't necessarily super rich. So, actors make their money through their work, but they're also wealthy enough that they don't need to work all that much or all that hard. So we would call them labor aristocracy. But yes.
Also,
Cool,
disclaimer, we are not communists here.
No. We are socialist, not communist. Marx had some really good ideas, but also some serious shit takes, and a lot of what he said is just not plausibly applicable. And if I haven't made it clear by saying that that pretty much every regime that attempted to implement saying that many of the ones that attempted to implement his idea turned fascist, all of them kind of sucked. Well, I guess
Yeah,
Cuba is
Marx kind of tried. He was good at finding problems. He wasn't so great at solving those problems.
Yeah, and most of the solutions he did come up with had already been come up with by other people, and then he came up with a lot of much worse ideas than what had come before, honestly. Yeah, no. Marx is interesting, but, not really a very applicable philosopher. We've gotten very, very political.
This game got political first, so I mean...
That's true.
This game got political first.
This game got political first. Also, you're calling it Inauguration Day. I'm calling it Trash Day. Because, I'm not in love with the new president, but at least we've taken the trash out.
Yeah, I think okay, I should say everyone, I don't want to assume, but, I think most people can kind of agree on that. Alright, let's keep going.
So, with the little breath you have to spare from your digging, you tell Fozzer that you found Alternium most interesting. The fierce rush of life here induces a salutary wakefulness, and boredom is virtually unknown. Salutary, by the way, means beneficial, beneficial, basically. Also, the social structure arising from the hemospectrum and the multidimensional relationship matrix is very unusual, producing a fascinating array of possible interactions among people. This is true, technically. You're looking forward to the day when you can tell your grandchildren about it.
Oh no, he looks mad.
Grandchildren are ever going to have... Slappy, when are you ever going to have grandchildren? You're literally the only one of whatever the fuck your species is on this planet and possibly any other.
Yeah, like that. No kidding.
Also, he doesn't know what also, he's a troll and doesn't know what grandchildren are.
That's also true.
But Fozzer doesn't look as pleased as you'd hoped. God damn it.
So you find Alternia agrees with you.
Oh yes, very much, you can't. No, it's not that it agrees.
You find it interesting and fascinating. Oh, we fucked up.
Just because I find somewhere interesting doesn't mean that I think it's perfect. It just means that it's interesting. Iran is interesting. That doesn't mean I like their government. I don't. I find it but I find the country and the culture interesting. Definitely.
Yeah, well, to you, the spectacle of those who happen to have been bored with certain blood colors exploiting and oppressing those who have not is just a picturesque detail.
Well, you wouldn't go far as to...
You find nothing objectable in a society where the strong kill the weak at will based on nothing more than the color of a bodily fluid, where the upper class to see the lower is little more than inanimate objects whose only purpose is to serve them. Actually, we might have won this. Where the whole corrupt society is structured solely to breed cannon fodder for psychotic empresses mad blood to conquer an entire galaxy, more people to oppress.
That certainly wasn't what you...
While the streets run with rust, orange, and gold blood, you stand unconcernedly and remark how interesting and fascinating Alternia is. While the fish people and their bluish lackeys strike the pat from the mouths of low-blood wrigglers, you smile pleasantly and remark how unusual Alternia is. I don't know if we won or we lost, because this guy is weird.
Certainly not, but one can't judge other cultures by one's own...
Oh, you can't dodge your class responsibility that way, you cur. You so-called intellectuals try to hide your fraud servility to the bosses by pretending to view society objectively, without moral judgments. But all the time, you're simply crypto-imperialist lapdogs. Okay. Okay then. Okay. And you come to the Happy Absence Pit Park pretending solidarity with the oppressed. Pshaw. I see now that you're nothing but a cat's paw of the oppressor class. Nothing but a cheese-colored Judas I can't pronounce that.
Iscariot.
Sent as a spy, traitor, bootlicker, sycophant, murderer, monopolist, profiteer, slave trader, cannibal, parasite, technocrat, gangster, ectoplasm. Okay.
Ectoplasm did not fit in that series of insults, but okay.
It did not.
No, you try to object, but... Fozzer seizes the shovel from you and turns away.
Turncoat, narc, double-crosser, weasel, hijacker, vulture, Visigoth. Breathalyzer? What?
Breathalyzer, yes, that is what he said. I don't know what a breathalyzer for testing if someone is drunk driving has to do with this, but then, frankly, the depressing part here is that this is not the most hostile or incoherent interactions the two of us have had with dogmatic Marxists.
No, it's not.
And that person was real.
Oh, I thought he meant like in the that I was about to say like in the game or but yeah.
No, I meant in reality.
Oh yeah, I remember.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I remember that. It was an interesting conversation.
And he also, while he wasn't necessarily pro-fascism, he was pro-authoritarianism.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
You watch his back recede into fog, your heart sinking with the wreck of your hopes and dreams for friendship.
Well, I guess we did lose.
Sometimes you have the wrong priorities.
That's true. Alright.
The feeling comes over you suddenly that nothing can be more important than the truth. Truth is the foundation of all real friendship. That's probably true. Truth sets you free. Honesty is the best policy.
Honestly, this guy's very different than how he is in Friendsim, so I'm wondering if something happened between games to him. Because he's very different in Friendsim.
You mean he's very different?
I mean, not Friendsim, I mean he's very different in Hiveswap. Like, he's incredibly different in Hiveswap. I'm wondering if something happened between games, or there's some shenanigans going on, but yeah.
I would tend to suspect that what happened is that he got lobotomized by Trizza.
Maybe.
So you take a deep breath and say that you hope you won't give offense, but in your opinion, Alternia is the nastiest, ugliest, cruelest, most inhospitable, and unfair place you've ever seen or heard of in a long life of travel and study. I disagree with this assessment, by the way.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's probably worse places.
Even the plants are bloodthirsty. Even the soil is hard and mean. You've made many no friends, but but you've heard it's also possible to make friends with lions, bears, killer whales, and other wild and dangerous creatures. I don't know about lions or bears.
We
You can
didn't make friends with the
wolves.
bear in the last route we did we? We did not make friends with that bear.
No, we stabbed it with a cheap, crappy katana and were then crushed to death by it.
That's not really
While a small
friends.
child watched.
Not really a friendship.
No, I mean that's not generally an activity that I have done with any of my friends. I have never in my life felt that the thing I needed to do with my friends was to run them through with my sword and then be crushed to death by them. I've sometimes been tempted to run some of them through with my sword,
but not be crushed to death by them.
No,
and not a shitty sword.
Never been no, not a crappy sword. My sword is not crappy. It has some issues with the handle, but it's not crappy. That's for damn sure. You can definitely make friends with wolves. That's definitely a thing.
You can, yeah. They're adorable.
Although you don't do that by feeding wild wolves, because that's actually a really, really bad idea.
It is.
Because then they just start to expect people to feed them, and if they don't feed them, they'll mug them.
And then they get put down, and we do not want that.
Yeah, no. Like, that's a terrible idea.
Wolves are good, and they're friends, and we need to protect them, so...
This is true. They are friends. In fact, often here on Alternia, you felt that you've been locked in a cage with a bunch of such wild and dangerous creatures. Well, okay. That's not an entirely unfounded assessment, I guess. As you've talked, you've been watching Fozer anxiously for signs of anger. You're surprised to see that instead he seems to be loving it.
And what about our political system?
You've already put your foot in it, so you go ahead and put the other one in it too.
Yeah, we've really put our foot in it. Again, I'm not gonna apologize for getting political because this game got political first. Also, I don't really apologize for that anyway, but especially don't apologize for it in this video because the game got political first. It's like if you're gonna bring this up, like, it's fair game. Yeah, this is gonna be one of our more politically charged videos. That's okay though.
You express the opinion that a violent, rigidly stratified, insectile, I'm not sure what insectile has to do with it, social structure created solely to generate soldiers for a mad project to conquer the entire galaxy might raise eyebrows in some quarters. You admire natural selection and survival of the fittest as much as the next person, but this is overkill on a titanic scale. Yeah, I actually agree with that statement wholeheartedly.
I do too.
And Alternia honestly probably would have had some form of stratification just because some blood castes are legitimately more powerful than others.
I can't decide whether I like this guy or I absolutely hate him.
We'll see. As you've been speaking, Fozer's smile has grown wider and wider, and he's shown other signs of approval, such as jumping up and down and whirling around. He pumps his fist in the air.
Forward to perfect socialism, buddy, Fred. I don't think,
I'm all about I'm all about democratic ownership of the means of production. That's what socialism means.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows what socialism means, though.
Well,
Buddy, do you
considering
know
how
what
much he's
socialism
been
means?
considering how much he's been quoting Marx, in my experience, Marxists really basically, despite reading theory, they don't know. Most of them don't know anything but Marx, and also Marx's ideas often just lead to an authoritarian state controlling the means of production instead of individual authoritarian corporations. There's really not actually an improvement.
No. It's so good to talk with someone who hasn't been hypnotized from Wigglerhood with counter-revolutionary pap. Someone who really are, who sees the evil of the high bloods. Well, we're gonna see a high blood in the next route we're going into. Someone who will march in the vanguard of the workers' revolution to face unflinchingly the onslaught of the aristocracy, perhaps possibly to die in a hail of bullets, but never turn their back on the people. Okay.
Okay, it wouldn't generally be bullets. I mean, the society isn't really that bullet happy.
Let me embrace you, comrade alien. Aw, he's going for a hug.
See, I don't automatically go all when someone's going for a hug. That's slightly weird. We've known him for about,
I can't decide
30
if I like
minutes.
this guy or hate him. I have mixed feelings about this guy.
He's not my least favorite person that we've met on Alternia.
He's definitely entertaining. I'll give him that. Either
I
way.
mean, here's the thing. He isn't Zebra, or Cuprum, or Follicle, so there's
Or
that.
Zebedee, honestly. Like,
He is at least no worse than Zebedee, and probably slightly better.
that's true.
Or not, I don't know.
That's true.
Although I look forward to Zebedee's inevitable murder by Ardata, because that's really the only way someone like, he's either gonna get murdered by Ardata or just generally culled, or I guess turn into a spaceship. That could happen.
Yep. Any of those
His
things.
future doesn't look good, and I don't feel sorry for him, is my point.
Honestly, getting killed by Ardata is probably one of the nicer things that could happen to him.
Well, I mean, he would get to be friends with an online celebrity like he wants to be.
That's true. He would. That's very true.
And I mean, he would get to go in her room. And
He
she has
would.
everything in her room.
Yeah, Ardata has everything in her room. It has infinite things in it.
He does so. He's oily and smells like mossy soil and poor ooze, but this does not dampen your spirits. What better preamble for making a suggestion of friendship? Agreeing with people about politics never fails to bring friendship closer. Well, frankly, he's not the most unsanitary person who's had bodily contact with us, and at least this time he asked.
That's true. Also, mossy soil and poor ooze isn't the worst smell.
But before you can bring it up, Fozer, having first kissed you on both cheeks, continues. Well, again, not the most unsanitary person who has kissed us.
I didn't need to be reminded of that. I didn't
You
need
were
to remember
reminded of
that, and now I did. Now I have been forced to remember this.
Not my fault. The game brought it up.
It did. It's true, the game did bring it up. But we mustn't allow our celebration of the People's Revolution to interfere with the honest labor that ennobles us. I'm holding you back for your ticket to the workers' paradise. Please proceed with your soil perturbation. All powers to the people. Death to arbitrary homosexual discrimination. Forward, comrade. Yeah, this guy gets very different in Hiveswap. Like, he's like very different than this.
He waves his hand with a flourish, and you start digging again. You wonder if it would be just as revolutionary if you traded places so Father could do the digging and you could do the speechifying, but you don't wish to disturb the perfect harmony now existing between the two of you. Instead, use your little available breath to inquire what all the soil perturbation is in aid of.
Why, a coal pit, of course. Didn't you see the sign? This is the Happy Absence Pit Park, Fozer Valius proprietor. Yeah, it is a graveyard. It's more like a mass grave, but like similar. Yeah. Alternative's reactionary tradition is just to put dig coal pits anywhere without a second thought, but our revolutionary future demands that we have more respect for the dead, so I've created this wonderful innovation, the Pit Park. It's a graveyard. Wait, is this the place where we meet Aradia later? I just realized. In the future. Oh, shit. I think this is where we literally run into Aradia later in the future, like this exact area. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but it looks very similar.
I have some very bad associations with communists and mass graves.
Yeah.
Like in my brain, that's reminiscent of the killing fields in Cambodia.
This guy. Yeah. There's a clown concert being held not far from here, so I anticipate a brisk demand shortly. Best to be ready for these things. I'm guessing we're going to that clown concert in the other route. Having a lot of dead clowns lying around rotting on the property is unpleasant, not to mention unsanitary. Get them underground pronto is our motto here at the Happy Absence Pit Park. Okay.
You're wondering privately whether a little class solidarity couldn't be extended to Purple Bloods, remembering your dear friend Karakau Pierrot, when Fozer seems to give a jump.
No, that is not ghosts.
Grateful for an excuse to stop digging. Also, on Alternia, everyone knows ghosts exist.
Yeah.
Friggin' Marxist. Grateful for an excuse to stop digging, you turn to look in the direction Fozer is staring. Leaning on your soil perturbation lance, you don't see anything but fog. You ask, what is not ghosts?
Nothing is. I'm a dialectal materialist, and if any ghosts come from around the Happy Absence Pit Park, they should be aware that I won't believe in them, so they might as well go somewhere else. Oh, I see what this is.
You confess that you don't see anything but foggy darkness and humped pitted ground, where you now guess piles of cold Alternian exoskeletons are buried in the coal pits. They do have a bad habit of ceasing to be dead during the day.
That's very true. There's lots of undead in this world. You don't see any ghosts because there's no such thing, but the past few nights I thought I saw beams of light shining up and out of the ground. Almost as if the metaphorically, of course, some of the exoskeletons in the coal pit had gotten hold of the flashlights and were shining them up for chinks in the soil. Look, there it is again.
This time you see it, a column of light that flashes up through the fog and is gone, seeming to come from the cracks in the ground, which it briefly illuminates in blinding white. Fascinated, you move toward the crack, which is now dark and invisible again.
What are you doing?
You look at Fozer in surprise. He seems terrified. You ask tactfully whether he doesn't think you ought to see what that is. For example, it could be some infrastructure malfunction that could blow the Happy Absence Pit Park and all its inhabitants, living and dead, sky high. You're not even sure they have infrastructure in Alternia, but one can't be too careful.
Well, maybe you're right. We are fearless revolutionary cadres, after all.
You can hear his teeth chattering. You move toward where you think the flash came from. Father close behind you, peering over your shoulder. You can't help wondering where he'll be when the vanguard of his revolution is braving hails of bullets. Making inspirational but meaningless speeches or shot. That's where these kinds of people always are in revolutions.
Yep.
You very much hope that his revolution, if it ever comes, won't happen while you're around. Just then, a whole series of lights flashes silently up from the ground, making columns through the fog. Fozzer jumps and howls behind you.
Non-existent.
You tell him there's undoubtedly a logical explanation, though you have to admit that you had a weird feeling just now when the lights appeared, like a momentary dizziness or feeling of discontinuity. But you're more curious than ever now. Murmuring comforting things to Fozzer, you start digging right around where the lights you just saw came from. Then it's weird because you break through some kind of thin crust, as if the soil in that particular place is just a few inches thick over a brittle surface that your shovel goes right through like old pottery. You wonder whether you've inadvertently dug into an old coal pit, but what bright light would be coming from an old coal pit? And in some weird way, it doesn't feel like a coal pit. It feels like something metaphysical. Like reality itself is particularly thin right in that spot, and you've broken through the very fabric of it with your soil perturbation lens. You dig around the edges of the hole, enlarging it until it's about a foot wide. The darkness within makes the darkness of the Alternian night seem bright by comparison. It's so dark that the soil falling into it and the part of your soil perturbation lens poking into it seem to vanish completely, as if on the other side of the hole, reality itself gives out. You and Fozzer stare curiously down into this hole. Suddenly a blinding but strangely blank light bursts up out of the hole into your face, and at the same time there's a deafening sound which seems to vibrate the very framework of reality, like a gigantic needle scratching a gigantic record. Glitch. You're standing in the foggy night holding a soil perturbation lance that has been handed to you by Father Veliez. He points to where he's just been digging, and you begin digging in the same place. The moss that covers the ground is tough as leather, and the Alternian soil is rocky, hard and unforgiving. No surprise there, and before long you're sweating profusely. But you feel strange, like you were just standing somewhere else, doing something else, seeing something else. The after-images of blinding light and deafening sound seem to linger in your eyes and ears, but around you is nothing but dark fog and bare ground, humped and pitted. You must have had a dizzy spell. You shake it off and begin perturbing the soil. No exertion is too great for the pursuit of friendship, after all. Fozzer watches you with satisfaction.
Honest work is a wonderful thing. All hail the old regime. You look like a walking cheese, but your muscular development is impressive. What do you think of our planet? What has been your impression of it on your visit? I think now we pick the other one. Let me save. I think now we have to pick the other one.
Okay.
I think reality just completely broke. It, did a 180, and he's a royalist now. I don't know how this happened, but, based off of the clues from, how he is in Hiveswap, I'm calling it.
As a guest, it's only polite to say nice things about your host's home planet. Besides, meeting Fozzer has stoked your desire for sweet friendship, mortal, and a little praise and flattery often goes a long way to make people like you. Now I'm talking like him. God damn it, this is what time loops do.
Yeah.
So with the little breath you have to spare from your digging, you tell Fozzer that you found Alternia most interesting. The fierce rush of life here induces a salutary wakefulness, and boredom is virtually unknown. Also, the social structure arising from the hemospectrum and the multidimensional relationship matrix is very unusual, producing a fascinating array of possible interactions among people. You're looking forward to the day when you can tell your grandchildren about it. As you're speaking, a satisfied smile overspreads Father's face.
Ah, damn it. I actually kind of liked him.
I mean, I liked him better when he
Fuck.
wasn't a royalist.
Yeah, now he's gonna be shitty. He's gonna be the shitty Hiveswap version. Fuck. Fuck you, Ghost. You just ruined a good character. Fuck you.
Was that Ghost? It might not have been.
Whatever that was. I'm glad you recognize the nobility of our ancient society with its early hierarchy and naturally evolved degrees of privilege reflecting naturally evolved degrees of ability.
Except that most sea dwellers can't actually do dick except live for long periods of time. In a
Yeah.
natural Darwinistic hierarchy, you would probably be ruled by cerulean bloods. Not that I have any biases in that direction.
No, not that you do.
You're pleased that your words have met with approval, but you're still a little troubled. You have an odd deja vu sensation that this whole exchange could have gone quite differently. Maybe even did go quite differently sometime in the past, or in some parallel universe. You inquire timidly whether the total domination of the lower bloods by the higher on Alternia doesn't sometimes feel like oppression.
Never. I myself am only a rust blood, so I lack the privileges of the higher bloods, but the most important thing for a society is that everyone should be their appointed place and do the things they're suited for. Yeah, now he's a fascist. If all the passengers in a rowboat keep their seats in a row in the same direction, the boat will quickly reach its destination, but if the passengers all jump up and start running around and grabbing the others' oars, the boat will capsize and we will all be lost.
You remark diplomatically that Alternia isn't a rowboat rowing toward a destination.
It kind of is in a way, but like not a good way. You're wrong. A planet is very much like a rowboat advancing through a black water space. It is for our destination. All of us on Alternia aim at but a single goal of every hour and every day to serve her most imperial condescension and conquer her glorious galaxy-wide empire. Long live the Empress. I hope he means like the actual Empress and not Trissa, you know.
I mean...
Because that could get him cold.
At least the Condesk is hotter. Well,
That's
you suppose
true.
the sense of being part of something larger than yourself makes up for a lot.
It does.
And naturally evolved systems are almost always more robust than artificially designed ones. That's true.
They are.
And it's true that Alternia's social structure does bring some semblance of order to the collection of 12 disparate troll subtypes.
It
Yes,
is.
again, you'd expect it to be run by the ones with powers. Fozzer beams at you fondly. There's nothing that warms the heart like someone who thinks you're right about everything.
Sloppy. It's so wonderful to find someone, even someone who looks like a piece of cheese, who is intelligent and understands society and politics so perfectly. Finally, a true friend. Is this really a victory? I feel like we lost, but it says victory.
I'm almost curious to see what would have...
This doesn't feel like a victory to me. It feels like we lost, honestly.
I almost want to see what would have happened with the other bad ending.
I can go do that. We can go back and do that. How are you guys feeling in chat about that?
The only reason I'm tempted is I kind of want to see if it explains what the fuck just happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually go back and load the bad ending up.
The feeling comes over you suddenly, you know what, I'm not gonna read this dialogue.
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip it.
Blah, blah, blah. No doubt you could have anticipated that blunt honesty like this would give offense, and indeed it seems to have done so. As you finish your remarks, Fozzer is frowning darkly.
So you come to Alternia as an uninvited guest only to criticize and judge our civilization, eh?
No.
This reminds you of someone I know. You know enough about our society, our billions of years of evolution, our painstaking rise from the mud-dwelling ancestors, and political and sociological theories of our statesmen, philosophers, and scientists to make those judgments, do you?
Well,
no doubt you've done studies establishing what would happen if the hemospectra groups were placed in different relations to one another. For example, Rustbloods were the highest group and Fuchsia Bloods the lowest.
Well, no, but
I suppose your plan is so similar to Alternia that you have a firm basis on which to apply your preconceptions to us.
Not at all, but...
And surely you aliens are similar enough to biologically and psychologically control us to know how we feel about our own society.
I
thought not. I guess from the very first that you were nothing but a dilettante... I can't pronounce it.
A dilettante, faux socialist, pseudo-intellectual spouting your ivory tower theories without the least idea of what you were talking about. Sorry, I just took over there because somebody had to pronounce all those words, and...
Well, the only one I was having trouble with was the first one, but okay. Well, smarty pants alien, I suggest that you take your cheese-like person and your fairies and go home to your own planet. It won't be long before her most high imperial condescension conquers your arm of the galaxy, so that we Alternians can return the favor by standing in judgment over your society and politics. In the meantime, I bid you good syndrome.
And with that, Father Valais seizes his soil perturbation lance, as well as your hopes and dreams, and stalks off into the foggy night. Will that explain nothing?
No, it did not. Well, that was a thing.
Okay. By the
way,
got
he's completely brainwashed.
Can I make a point, by the way?
Yeah.
He's not wrong when he says it's not long before her imperious condescension conquers our arm of the galaxy.
That's true, it's just in another timeline, but he isn't wrong. He's not wrong about that. A different timeline, but he's not wrong. What did you say?
I want to know what the fuck just happened, though.
I do too. I do too. I'm kind of wondering what happened, but we didn't find out. So.
And also, at least he had the brains to back the con desk and not Trizza.
Yeah, so he's smarter than Taruna. He's smarter than her, at least.
Yeah, Tyrona is very, very doomed. Well, here we go with Marvus.
Marvus is gonna be fun. Marvus is a fun character. I like him. You find yourself ambling down the road without any particular destination in mind. It seems you don't have to do much active searching to land yourself in varying combinations of adventure and/or disaster. Where will the
vicissitudes
of fate next lead you? Who knows? You walk for a while like that. You've just about lost all hope of running into a wacky crevice when your palm husk lights up with the delightful and/or foreboding sound of friendship. Someone is calling you. Yay. Or maybe not yay.
Well, I mean...
You're less excited to see if that person who... Oh, okay. You're less excited to see if the person who happens to be calling you Zebra. Yeah, I would not be excited about that. Well, sorry, some hair got in my mouth. It's not that you dislike Zebra precisely. I do.
Yeah, I also do.
It's just that you might struggle to rank him above literally any other troll you've met. Not really. Including the yellow guy who loves genocide. Not really. He's still better than Cupperman Follicle.
Cupperman Follicle? I'm trying to figure out which one is the yellow guy who loves genocide.
I'm trying to think of that too.
Like Cupperman loves being brain fucked and apparently brain fucking.
I don't know, maybe it's referring to Cupperman. I don't know. I'd still put him under Cuprum, honestly.
Now,
That bad end.
yeah, I'd rank Zebra above Cuprum. I wouldn't rank him above Azdaja. Azdaja's cool.
Yeah, agreed. But you're not one to leave a friend hanging. You dutifully answer the call. I would not answer that, but okay. Ah, my good friend. You picked up. Awfully quickly, I might add. Dude, we're not interested. Go away. Yeah, you just love friendship. You ask Xavier why he's calling. Do I need a reason to call? It's a fellow dialectical riposte. Not cause enough to make social contact, but one of my dearest adversaries / friends, or maybe more depending on whatever you feel comfortable with, and interested in a given point in time. Stop, buddy, please stop.
By the way, it's pronounced riposte. Like,
okay, yeah.
Also, that's not really how you generally use that word, and he's being pretentious.
He is. You have no idea how to even respond to that. I know how I'd respond to that, but
I would respond with fuck off on the basis that if I'm going to hang out with a pretentious blue blood male, I'm going to hang out with Gallic on the basis that he is the least he is the least shitty male blue blood. We, and by we I mean Heron, but I agreed, have concluded that Gallic is actually the least shitty blue blood male, and I'm including Equius in that list because what he did with Aradia was not okay.
And Horus.
Horus because he has a habit of enabling people who cheat in relationships.
Yeah.
That's my only real complaint. Like, Horus is wishy-washy and kind of a doofus, but I don't generally consider him to be malicious. He's usually pretty harmless, aside from the fact that he facilitates... Like, it's mostly that Rufio is a dick.
Yeah.
No offense to Dante Basco, who played Rufio in the movie Hook, because from what I've heard, he's a really nice guy, and I actually do know people who, have met him.
Yeah. Nah. I just fucking with you. I stand to incur material gain from your association. I need you to stay right where you are.
Well, what are you going to do? Hang up?
Oh, I was gonna read that bit, okay. You stayed right where you are and stay on the line. You ask what Zebra is up to, but he won't say. It tells you he needs to concentrate. Eventually, you notice a strange shape resolving in the distance down the road, drawing nearer slowly but steadily. After a while longer of waiting, the figure in the distance grows close enough for you to tell that it's Zebra. Oh, that's you say. It looks like he's riding on some kind of incredibly cursed hover Segway. I like the description. Yeah, I'm coming, sweetie.
You would say it takes maybe 15 minutes or so for him to make it the entire way over on his hover scoot.
There you are. Impressed by my new ride?
The only thing I can say for this asshole is he does have a good he has a nice hairstyle.
That's about it, though. That's about it. Oh yeah, you say. You're very impressed. I knew you would be. I brought it up because tonight is a very special night. Or it will be, if you'd be so kind as to make me the happiest troll at Alternia.
I wouldn't.
Bad vibes. Is he, proposing to you? What? Never mind. You ask him what he's vague blogging about. What indeed? The real question is what are you doing this evening? Getting the fuck away from you.
Yeah, no. Hanging out with literally anyone else who isn't Cuprum or Follicle. What I would want to be doing this evening is dual strafing with Azdaja, or maybe hanging out with Skilla and having some
I keep getting hair in my mouth. Problem. But yeah, no. Well, it's not like you've
Like,
ever had any plans to do anything besides stupidly bumble into one ludicrous boondoggle after another.
you know, we could be going to clown church with
Yeah, I'm
Shahoo.
like
We could
100% in favor of that, especially over this, but also just in general because it's cool. And I like Shahoo.
we also there's, I don't know, Amicia is probably doing some interesting art. We could hang out with her.
Grandma is also probably doing interesting art.
We could take Amicia to one of Remele's art shows. We could be doing that tonight.
Also,
That would be objectively better than
I bet Kairava is streaming. We could go hang out with Kairava. We could also do that. Like, there's a lot of things we could be doing that are not hanging out with Zebra, honestly. Seems like whatever he's alluding to inviting you to probably fits the bill for being included in your long itinerary of unspecified dumbass bullshit you were bound to get embroiled in anyway. Fantastic. Well, it just so happens I managed to get my hands on 2 tickets to Clownfest XX Reacts. And I thought, who better to take along than my dearest interlude associate of unspecified nature?
Why don't you take Cupperman Follicle instead?
Yes, please. Also, I don't like how he leans in close to your face like that. That makes me super uncomfortable. I don't know.
Yeah, no, seriously, why don't you do a double date with Cupperman Follicle?
That'd be a great idea. I'm sure. I mean, he likes low bloods, right? That's a great idea. You have no idea what Clownfest XX Reacts is, but it's not off to a good start with the name. Oh, I should have known you wouldn't be familiar with it. It's a little sophisticated for an off-world reprobate such as yourself. It's a music festival centered around purple blood performers. Now, normally I wouldn't trifle with high blood entertainment, disgustingly oppressive as it is, but when you think about it, aren't clowns the most disprivileged class of them all? Not all, Turnia.
You wanna run that by me again, asshole?
You don't ask him to explain what he means by that, because everyone would be really angry reading it. I'm already angry reading it. I'm gonna save.
I like that it's agree to toss your meaty moral body into a clown pit to get moshed to death or whatever. Find something else to do that sounds less fucking awful. I'm tempted to go with the second one, even though I know it's going to get us a bad ending, because it's what I would actually do. Because, again, we could be hanging out with Skilla today, or taking Amnesia to an art show.
Yeah.
Or,
I'm gonna click that anyway. It's probably gonna give us a bad ending, but I'm still clicking it. Well, you can't say that the invitation isn't tempting. Going to arrive and gather a violent gesture certainly sounds like a recipe for stimulating time, but what if you didn't throw yourself blindly into obvious peril for once in your incredibly painful life? Pass. Oh. He looks disappointed. That makes me happy. Even if we lose, I feel like we won. Zebra sighs heavily. He looks completely destroyed. Despite yourself, you feel a pain of guilt in your chest. I see. I guess that's fine. I'll just have to find someone else to facilitate my brush of greatness. What's that supposed to mean? You don't bother to ask when you don't give in to his obvious guilt to either. Zebra seems to accept his fate. Sigh, whatever. I can't believe I came all the way out here on my hover scoot just to be callously rejected like this. But I guess I'll see you around, hotcakes. No.
Don't call me hotcakes.
Zebra powers back up on his little scooter, gearing up to go. When he tries to lean back, the machine will start heaving in reverse. Something is wrong. The scooter just won't move, no matter how many times he slaps the control panel on the handlebars. You ask if it's broken. This is kind of great. What? No, it can't be. It's brand new. It was just working a minute ago. Maybe I'm in the wrong mode. Zebra hammers the buttons on the control panel for a bit with no luck. Damn, maybe it is the motors. Zebra tries leaning forward to check it out. That's not the problem at all. In fact, as soon as he pushes his weight against the control stick, the scooter surges forward. It collides with your frail human body, knocking you to the ground, as there's too much momentum in the motion for Zebra to stop there. The jets underneath the scooter rake over your pummeled body, incinerating you and killing you instantly. Well, it's better than hanging out with Zebra, so...
That hover Segway doesn't even look particularly cursed. Also, it doesn't hover; it's got wheels.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not the best design. It wasn't quite what I was picturing. I knew you'd be there for me. Alright, let's go. Zebra invites you to hop onto the back of his scooter so you can head out to Clownfest. You say you're not sure this is the most effective avenue of locomotion. Zebra tells you it's all the rage and not to be a little bitch about it. Well, so let me tell you a little about my plans for tonight. Can we not? It feels like the scooter is going even slower than it was when he arrived, now that it's struggling under the weight of two people. You see, my favorite rhyme juggler on the planet is going to be there tonight. His name is Marvus Zoloto. You might have heard of him. He's pretty famous. You say you've never heard of him because you're an alien. Oh, right. Well, he's only the best in all of Alternia. He came up a few sweeps back when he won first place on Slam or Get Cold. Oh, please tell me you at least know of about Slam or Get Cold. You do not know about Slam or Get Cold. Well, it's a bi-weekly reality program where aspiring slam poets compete to prove who has what it takes. It's really cutthroat stuff. I mean, I think there are at least 5 decapitations a season. The competition is about skill. No matter the blood color of who is competing, the troll who wins is the troll who has the nastiest flow and the dopest bars. Everyone has an equal shot. I mean, sure, High Blood has won every season to date, but it's basic biology that clowns are better at rhyming than everyone else. Even if High Bloods were Low Bloods, that would still be true. That's equality.
Okay, to be fair to someone who does not deserve it, he might not actually be wrong about that.
Well, I mean, we have seen Tavros try to rap, and it's horrible. I don't know, Shisha might actually... I don't know, she wasn't the best, but she's okay.
Also, I'm pretty sure Mina can rap.
Actually, Mina probably would be able to. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. You think this is really progressive stuff he's saying. Where could he have possibly gone so educated smart? Oh, you flatter me. Anyways, you know I'm deeply connected in the music industry. But because of oppressive hemospectrum systems, I'm afraid I'm only truly afforded downward mobility. The clown sphere is a really insular, close-knit community. But with the right hustle, I'm going to break that glass ceiling. Marvus is the perfect troll to bring me into the fold.
You are not going to break that
glass
ceiling. No, you're not.
You're just not, dude.
Or, I mean, you might break that glass ceiling, but you're going to find that when you break a glass ceiling, shards of razor-sharp glass rain down and kill you.
That's true. You say this guy sounds pretty brutal. Are you sure you want to actually beat this cloud? What, Marvus? Huh. I mean, sure, he does what he needs to survive an originally assified power system that could never be truly dismantled with the actions of a single individual, but that doesn't mean he supports it. Contrary to what you might think, Marvus is a spectacularly subversive figure in the industry. If you listen to his music, really listen, you'll hear some borderline revolutionary stuff. I think he'd tear it all down if he could. I might have mentioned it, but being a cloud is kind of woke. That's why I've always wanted to probe that think pad of his, really get to the bottom of his radical praxis, and help spread his message of social reform to the masses. And you're going to help me do it. After hours of scooting and one excruciatingly detailed unbroken account of the events of the past 3 sessions of Slaver Get Cold, you arrive at Clownfest XX Reacts. Oh, this is a hot dog clown that I've heard some people talk about, like the hot dog clown there. Honestly, this looks like a pretty good festival. I'd fucking go to this festival. I would go to this festival, I'm not gonna lie. It looks pretty great. Cloudfest feels more like a circuit. What?
That guy's horns look almost exactly like the Grand High Bloods right there. Is that literally... No, he's too small, but like...
Yeah. Clownfest feels more like a circus or your idea of a music festival. In the distance is a wide open field dotted with disorganized masses of people all gathered before a nightmarish stage you presume to be the site of the evening's main event. Are we going to see Shahoot here? Please tell me we're going to see Shahoot here. I would love that.
First.
I mean, it's okay. There's Fago, so I can quench my thirst. But anyway, the entrance to the festival grounds opens up into something of a parking lot, filled with whimsical tents and people selling various snacks or refreshments. You see a clown juggling what looks like at least 7 hot dogs, absolutely ghoulish. You're glad Diamond isn't here to see this. I mean, they look less disturbing than Diamond's hot dog. Wait, I just realized those hot dogs have normal buns. God, Diamond's hot dogs are not wholesome.
Either.
What did you say?
The meat in the hot dogs probably didn't come out of the sewer either.
That's true. Diamond, what the fuck? Like, just what the fuck? I mean, he's literally just using a grab as a bun. When there's actual buns on this planet, this makes it worse. Every time I hear more about Diamond, he just gets worse. I don't know.
Well, he's choosing to continue living in a bush when he could instead hang out at Malik's house. And, like, Malik isn't Zebra. Malik is a decent guy.
Yeah, like, honestly. Zebra brings you up to the gates, flashes your tickets, and gets you wristband admitted to the festival grounds. Wristbanded, sorry. Seems like there's still some time before the performance is slated to start. There's some spectators already gathered in the field, but those of more privileged bloodcasts are lined up around the tents in the lot to buy food and merchandise. While you walk around festival grounds, you ask Zebra what exactly he's planned. What could you possibly do to get him in good with the clowns? Zebra takes it as an invitation to whisper conspiratorially into your ear. His breath is hot and heavy against your hearing canal. I didn't need this. I really didn't need this. Here's the plan, my sweet little rust drop. No.
Seriously, dude, I know these 2 wonderful, wonderful gold bloods we can introduce you to. Are you sure you wouldn't be interested?
Yeah, I'm sure that they would be very interested to meet you. They just love, indigo bloods and doing things to indigo bloods, don't they? We get in, wait for the show to start, and when Marvus comes onto the stage, really gets into his act, you're going to jump the barricade and rush the stage. Or at least, you're going to try. Of course, I'm going to stop you. I'll tackle you before you make it to the stage, and I'll cut you right in front of Marvus and everybody. Oh, calm down. I'm trying to tear down the stereotypes that low bloods are all simple-minded dullers, and you aren't doing your people any favors by reinforcing the cause for prejudice. Obviously, I'm not going to really kill you. You'll simply pretend to play dead after I've heroically fooled your black designs on Marvus. My actions will firmly place me within Marvus's ashen quadrant, so you'll have no choice but to recognize me. No. And then the clouds will see what a hero I am and praise me and bring me backstage to reward me. It's really a flawless plan, my dear. If you just do what you're told, nothing will go wrong. Before you can prefer any critique of this caper, the jovial clamor of chattering and revelry surrounding you is pierced by a rising chorus of blood-curdling shrieks. You whip around to discern the source of the dreadful sound, but it becomes quickly apparent to those were not screams of pain. Those were not screams of pain at all. You know what's up when Zebra joins in with the ear-splitting squeals. That's it! I don't want to do the noise. It'll wake up my neighbors. It's the man of the hour himself. An expensively dressed juggalo is making his way through the crowd, flanked by a robust team of hulking indigo bloods. Every aspect of him telegraphs unimaginable celebrity. The purposefully disheveled yet fashionable fit of his clothes, the swagger of his step, and the 10-man camera crew trailing behind him. Yeah. He walks with a measured poise despite the chaos rising around him. Dozens and dozens of young trolls are fighting themselves at his entourage without any apparent concern for their safety. The bodyguards are roundhouse kicking the eager teens into the ground left and right like a bloody blunder of adolescent aliens. It's pure carnage. He really knows how to draw a crowd, doesn't he? Sigh. A minute ago it was tough to truly grasp the hype, but after seeing him in person, you don't know what it is. But this swaggy clown has an undeniable gravitas that commands the attention of everyone around him. What?
Gravitas. You've heard me say this word before.
I was close, I mean. Yeah, what were you gonna say, though?
I was going to tell Zebra to go on and rush that group like everyone else, get roundhouse kicked.
That's true, he really should. I'm sure that would go very well for him. It's impossible to look anywhere else. Even the Alternian moonlight seems to endeavor a glint off his golden accoutrements twice as bright. But he's gone just as quickly as he arrived. Up to the festival stage to set up his act. He leaves a bloody void in his wake. Zebra is bouncing on the balls of his feet following the encounter. He clearly can't wait to get up into the pit, and to be honest, neither can you. What is it about good clown that's so utterly irresistible? Well, Zebra takes you up to the field spread out before the stage. There are thousands and thousands of trolls already standing around, ready for the show to start. From the looks of the crowds in the back breaking down their tents, there have been rustbloods camping out for days to secure their spots. But even those hard-won locations are much further to the back than where Zebra is leading you. There aren't many highbloods here by comparison, so Zebra is able to take you to walk right in the muscle past all of the ceruleans and grab a spot by the barricade with maybe 5 minutes to spare before the show starts.
You know, I feel like muscling past all the ceruleans is a bad idea.
I feel like it is too, yeah. That's not the best idea. There's some roadies up on the stage now dashing around to finalize all the equipment arrangements. Oh shoot. Did you remember to bring your concert diaper? What? Excuse you? Yeah,
you?
What? What? Zebra turns to you with wide eyes. You're awfully close together now, boxed in by swell trolls. Push your bodies closer and closer to the stage. You know, your concert diaper. What? You don't actually know. You don't have a single clue about your concert diaper. You ask him if he's wearing his concert diaper. He pats the front of his pants, which you notice are looking a bit plumper than usual. What did this turn into? What? I don't like this. This is cursed. This is cursed. This route has been very cursed so far. This is cursed.
Yeah, Chahoot, are you somewhere in this crowd? Can you make this, Can you make this less horrible?
Please. Of course. You can't just come to one of these things without your concert diaper. Things in the pit can get pretty intense, bro. You can't leave to use a load gapper after it starts. Man, you're really going to regret not bringing your concert diaper. So is everyone around us. Ugh. I didn't need to know this. I did not need to know this. I didn't need to know that. Before you can even attempt to formulate a response to that, the crowd breaks into thunderous cheering. Your heart skips a beat as you look up, but of course the clown who's collaborating to the center stage isn't him. Marvus is clearly too hot to blow in the first act. All the same, people are real fired up over this raggedy juggalo. He seems like a serviceable clown, I suppose. He's got enough gold chains and is reasonably swaggy. He gets bumping, drops a few bars. It's fine, I guess, but he's not your clown. You know, the moment you laid eyes on Marvus, that he was the only clown your heart would ever be able to see again. I don't know. I don't know. Shahoot's kind of more my type, but I do like Marvus, but Shahoot's kind of more my type. I mean, Zebra leans into your ear and has to yell to be heard over the sounds of the music in the crowd. I've never much liked Raps's slavsy work, to be honest. Sure, the beats are produced well, but he has a very insipid sense of lyricism. Freeze's claim this. Freeze's indefatigable military might that. Indefeatable military might that. We get it. You want to harpoon the heiress. Is this the music that Cuprum listens to?
Yes.
I think Cuprum would probably like this rapper. We found Cuprum's favorite rapper. What?
Does that mean that Cuprum and Follicle are here? And can we introduce them to Zebra?
I wish. Like, Jesus fuck. Who does it, honestly? We don't need to hear about it all day. Okay then. I don't, but...
I'd rather... if I'm going to bone a fishes...
It's gonna be the Condusk. Condusk is just better. Like, Condusk has dead ass. Like...
This is true.
And I mean, I'm not... It's just... This is Homestuck Kid. It's just like they draw attention to it. Like, a lot. Like... I mean, it's just... Yeah.
There's the GIF.
Yeah, look, we could post the GIF. Like... It's like, you can find that GIF. A solid 15 minutes of mildly provocative slams later, an old Slamsy is slicking off backstage. As soon as he's gone, a new gesture takes the fore. If you want to get into the music, it proves difficult. Every new act they bring onto the stage is immediately followed by a hollow earful of Zebra's scaffing critiques. You wonder why he's so fixated on getting in good with the gaggle of urban farciers?
Farciers. Like
I got right. If he fixed a little of their technical and artistic merits to begin with, as he leans sweatily against the barricade, you're sure to wonder if it's all worth it. Could the sight of a single rapping man really outweigh all the physical and psychic agony of waiting and standing and stewing in the heat of this pit? Will you have just endured nearly 3,000 words of hanging out with Zebra for that they will ultimately let you down? But as a penultimate clown trundles off the set, the taste of the air changes, the lights on the stage go dark, and the booming sound system goes quiet. A tremendous hush falls over the crowd. You feel your heart stop in that silence. You know down to your bones that this is the moment you've been waiting for. For Sea Dweller to Rustblood, nobody moves. The sound of his light footsteps against the darkened stage can only be audible to someone as close as you. The anticipation swallows you whole. When the floodlights snap back and illuminate his astounding figure center stage, you feel it. Forget in the modest stature, the lanky juggalo has the presence of a man a million feet tall. He radiates a power the likes of which you've never felt before. You feel him inside of you intimately, religiously, incredibly. Yes, this is it. This is your clown. I mean, I like another clown more, but go ahead and pick your sloppy, I guess. Then he opens his mouth to utter what feels like the most important words you've ever heard in your life.
Hey.
All hell breaks loose. Everyone is screaming around you. You grip tight on the barricade as you stare up at him, glowing messianic arms outstretched to drink in the zealous favor of the crowd, all incited by a single incredibly powerful word, hey. God, you'll never forget it.
What up, guys? Lol. You jugs ready to cook?
You can't help it, you start screaming, you're so fucking ready.
Lol, these buddies be baking beans. Shiz. Any of y'all forget your concert diapers? Because it is rank out there.
You feel racked by shame. How could you forget your concert diaper? You'll never be so foolish again.
But it's aight. I'm a freshen things up, you hear me? Sorry, I had to parse what the fuck he was spelling there.
I can do it if you want. I can do it.
I can read his dialogue just fine. It's like the fact that he made you hear me one word is.
Yeah. Zebra takes hold of your head and squeezes it tight. You appreciate the gesture. God, he's so fucking beautiful. You understand. You feel deeply, utterly devastated to know how far out of your grasp he is. Why would a man like that ever look at you? There's no way someone so tremendous, so magnificent, so extravagant would waste his time offering his friendship to someone as insignificant as you. But as desolating as that feeling may be, you aren't ready to put him out of your life just yet. Maybe there are other ways you can be close to him. Listen to his music, follow him wherever he goes, dedicate your life to him. You want to know everything about him that you can. Maybe in this way you can honor him. Befriend him in your own heart, if not his. Is a love one-sided any less beautiful? When the music at last starts to blast through the speakers, you ascend. The pain in your legs and your back disappears. You feel nothing but streaming euphoria. You thank the forces of serendipity for guiding you to the glorious epiphany of this beat-rific singularity. The show's nothing to scoff at either. You, a highly discerning individual, known to frequently make posts online regarding the quality of rap and whether or not those who purport to press sexuality do in fact have the requisite bars, are fully blown away by the act. It's some really good stuff. He's just really going hard and hot with those raps. Not the intensities of soul barometric of the quality of hip hop. The fire that Marvus is dropping is a broad contemporary performance that would equally satisfy any aficionado of any relevant subgenre. Not a single thing about him is even slightly racist. You're really starting to get into the zone when Zebra starts to scream in your ear again. You were really going deaf for the concert as it was. I think it's about time to get this show on the road, don't you? I'm gonna save.
You know what? Frankly, I'd rush the stage just to get Zebra out of my face.
Okay, we'll rush the stage. Enraptured you may be with Marvus' magnificence. A promise is a promise. You can't let Zebra down. I would let Zebra down, but, you know. You wait for the right moment and start to vault up over the barricade as quickly as you can manage. You clear the barrier and drop down into the gutter between the stage and the crowd. You're not sure where to go from here. You glance back towards Zebra for guidance, and the crowd has noticed what you're doing. Alright. The onlookers are swarming with rage at your insolence. Zebra makes his move. He starts to follow you up over the barricade, but things don't go as planned. Instead of heroically stopping you from making it to Marvus, Zebra is put down upon from all sides by grasping claws. They don't recognize what Zebra is trying to do. They think he's just another conspirator trying to join you in your attempt at Marvus' life. You watch in stunned horrors. Horror is the wrong word for this. As two trolls the two trolls closest to Zebra take hold of each of his arms, dig in their claws, and rip them right off. Yes! This is going great.
This was the best option.
I mean, we might die too, but I mean, we'll take Zebra's arms with us. So And they don't stop there. You barely have time to process what's happening until another pair of trolls descend, helping to tear ruthlessly into Zebra's body. His screams don't even register over the booming of the sound system. Fountains of indigo blood spray into the human air. The barricade in the ground all around you are drenched to your friend's core. You're frozen where you stood in that arid gutter between heaven and hell. This isn't how it was supposed to go, is it? No, it's better than it was supposed to go. You feel the inevitable press of entropy closing in. The trolls in the audience see you, and they've already had a taste of blood. Your legs are as stiff as rods as the carnage-caked trolls who made a short work of your friend begin to vault over the barricade themselves. It seems pointless to run. You're struck by a consuming sense of deja vu. You've made a mistake, and the universe is going to clean up your mess. The trolls drop down into the gutter with you in advance. You close your eyes and accept your fate, and feel yourself being wrenched up onto the stage. Oh yay.
Yo.
You can't believe your eyes. Marvus, in all his majesty, has hoisted you up to safety on the grand stage. He's beaming at you with the most beautiful smile you've ever seen in your whole life. This development has certainly given the bloodthirsty crowd pause. Marvus turns to him with an unerring grin and shakes his head.
Y'all out there.
You cut out,
Yeah, I heard. Y'all out there trying to kill my buddy. Sometimes, I swear, my fans are bigger clowns than I am. Lol.
His adoring legion seems to find that very funny. You're starting to realize you really should have brought your concert diaper after all.
Now seems like there's been a big misunderstanding. This just be one of my backup dancers.
Do we just get the good ending?
Hey, hit it, cause show him what you got.
He's helping you? You can't say you understand, but you're not about to look at a sexy, gorgeous gift clone in the mouth. If Marvus wants you to dance for your life, he'll dance. You start going to town, flossing, shooting, whatever it is the kids are doing these days. A real contemporary breakdown. The crowd goes wild. Things are really starting to look up for you until a deafening crack sounds through the air and the stage equipment starts to collapse. It all happens quickly. The bolts of all the stage scaffoldings burst out of their settings, the lights catch fire, and one of the massive 100-foot screens behind the stage comes loose of its moorings. You'd have been easily pancaked by the huge screen if not for Marvus expertly clown-stepping you and himself out of the way. Clown-stepping. Half the crowd isn't so lucky. The big screen shatters when it hits the stage, raiding a 100-foot area of trolls with vicious glass. Hey, they hit the glass ceiling.
That's what happens when you break the glass ceiling. Seriously, that's a terrible expression.
It is.
Shiz. Right when things were just getting started.
But the sound equipment was all obliterated by the sudden collapse. Nobody can hear him but you. For a moment, your hero looks lost.
Man, we better bounce, cuz.
Marvus grabs you by your sweaty hand and runs. He takes you to safety into the performer's green room, which seems to be intact after the collapse of the stage, though the power's out. The room is filled with the clowns who'd performed earlier. They all look very confused and harried.
Shit. Things gonna be madhouse out there for a while, so better to just lay low for a little bit, I bet. We go out there right now, we gonna get mobbed. Usually everybody be added at the end of my concert. Everybody be dead at the end of my concerts. I wouldn't make it out there without having to pale with 1,000 teens otherwise.
You're a little rattled to say the least. Marvus takes a good look at you.
Fuck, man. You shiz yourself?
Oh. You start to cry. You didn't bring your concert diaper.
Oh man, it's don't cry. Look, you're hardly the first buddy to ever shiz themselves at one of my concerts. I'm used to the smell.
Oh, okay then.
To be honest, it's comforting. No.
Okay. You sniffle and say, really? You wouldn't want to bring even the slightest inconvenience to his wonderful life.
Yeah, I'll let it cook. Bring it, Brokime. What?
You bring it in, the two of
Brokime?
you share a nice, malodorous hug. It's hard for you to understand what's going on. Why did Marvus save you anyway?
I saw you was hanging out with that blue bro who always trying to get his snuffle shoot up in my jug's shiz holes. And then you trying to make a real run for me. Gotta say, that's brave. Gotta ask a buddy where they got the bulge rods to try to pull a stunt like that. Respect.
Oh well, it wasn't really much of a stunt. You were just going along with your friend's ludicrous plan to try to scavenge a friendship under false pretenses, but it was a really bad plan and your friend was killed on the spot immediately, and now you're pretty sure you're cosmically fated to die due to making a non-canonical decision.
Canonical.
Non-canonical.
What you mean non-canon? All of this be non-canon, fam. What can it even mean to be non-canonical within the context of an inherently extra-canonical framework? Skeet brap. Not sure what the fuck skeet brap means, but this guy makes a good point.
He does. He does. You're not sure, but you definitely had the sense that some of the decisions within the simulation carry greater values of truth and relevance than others, and that the linear progression of events is rigorously enforced by an obligate narrative flow that privileges those actions which most smoothly facilitate the designs of the story's architect.
Sure, you can hear that noise that way. But I say you the architect of your own fate.
Inspired to serve it as Marvus may be spitting, his wise pontifications are interrupted when a clown in the back of the green room knocks over the water cooler. This gets the other clown who was talking to him really pissed, and they start duking it out. It starts a chain of reaction which pulls all the other highbloods into a whirling blade picture of clown carnage.
Man, what the fuck is going on?
It's like you said, you made a mistake and the essence of the timeline won't rest until it's put things right. You can feel that it's happened before it'll happen again.
Well, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Come on, Troll Nostradamus. Let's scoot.
Even as he... You kind of like him?
I kind of like this guy.
Yeah, Marvus is pretty cool. He's pretty
weird,
cool in Hiveswap too. Marvus is a cool character, yeah.
Also, can we acknowledge that he knows that he's in a non-canonical fan game?
He does. Which is kind of great, actually. It's kind of great. Even as the inescapability of your demise consumes you, you can't bring yourself to deny him. You follow him out of the room, fleeing before the clown fight can pull you in and grind you to bits. Out here, you're the one who has to help Marvus in the open air. It's an unending procession of teens QuickTime events, some of them are carrying buckets. Oh god. You just need to keep punching them out until you finally make it to his rich clown guy limo. The driver is nowhere to be seen, so Marvus gets behind the wheel and you hightail it out of there. You stick your head out the window and look back. There's a nasty storm brewing in the distance.
I know somewhere we'll be safe.
You make sure to secure your seatbelt. After dodging at least 3 falling trees, a wayward deer looses, and a lightning strike that blasts the hood of the vehicle right off, Marvus brings you to Clown Church. That's a good idea. I hope Shahud is there. You can't say this place was high on your list of venues you want to visit again. It was high on mine. This thing has a fucking budget.
Whatever bullshit is power that's coming after you will have no reach here. This be hallowed ground, biznatch.
Marvus leaves the limo on the lawn of the church, and you both hurry out, just in time because it explodes not 2 seconds after you're out the door. By instinct, Marvus shields you from the fiery blast of his body. I think that, like, he's literally, like, tried to fight the narrative. This is kind of great. Oh no, Marvus, no, your beautiful soul. You destroyed by guilt. How could someone so tremendous bring themselves to such harm for someone so meaningless as you? You drag Marvus' burned, scorched body into Clown Church, and you collapse as soon as you're past the threshold. You start weeping.
Shiz, fam. I ain't dead, just a little toasty. You ain't gotta cry about it, goddamn.
Oh, okay. You help him up and bolts the door behind you. He was right, you do feel safe here. Nothing is collapsing, nobody's being stricken with the hysterical urge to start a fight, and there's not even a single fire happening anywhere. There's some candles, though. I mean, that technically counts, but... Also, I guess, like, the clown energy protects you. Because there's a weird clown energy, but...
The mirthful messiahs be protecting us, buddy. Stay frosty, aight?
You help Marvus over to sit down in one of the pews. You settle next to him and gaze up at the imposing architecture. It's not all so bad. There's a beauty there, a beauty in being a clown, too. You're sorry to see. Maybe you're even starting to believe? You turn to look at Marvus, his face is ashen and slick with sweat.
Think that dip in the grill I had hurt a bit more than I thought.
Your heart drops in your chest. You ask if he's going to be alright.
As long as we stay in here.
I mean, this is actually a pretty smart move to run in here, but yeah.
We ain't.
Alright, but can you really stay inside Clown Church forever? You know, down to your bones, and even if you do, it doesn't matter. It's something about the air. You can't really describe it. Everything just starts to press down, down, down. Like you and everything around you is sinking impossibly into the earth, but the ground is coming up to meet you too. You start to perspire. The pressure leaves you weak. You slump against Marvus' shoulder. You feel so insubstantial, like the entire concept of your existence is struggling to erase itself. You know this isn't something you can fight.
What, are you giving up just like that?
You don't know what else you can do. This isn't how things are supposed to go. This isn't how things can be. You can't exist like this.
That depends on what it means to exist, fam. Depending on how you look at it, every branch of, in the timeline be fundamental to the metatextual structure of the essence of existence itself. Even an incident that falls outside of the strict confines of canonical continuity contributes to a meta-consciousness to be built by and could even be said to be at its most essential level defined primarily by extratextual exchanges of interpretation by those who observe it. Each path, a translucent fragment, that via mirroring or distorting or magnifying certain aspects of the ultimate reality folds itself invisibly into the fabric of that reality. Is this itself immeasurable and intangible, but the space it once occupied, indelible?
Okay.
Wait. Is he like? Is he meta aware?
I think he is. I think he kind of is, actually. Which would actually explain a lot.
Observation of irreality can still inform how reality is to be interpreted, even if that irreality doesn't satisfy even a curiosity standard or cursory standard of legitimacy. An act of contravening continuity can in itself provide definition to that very integrity it defiles. Even if what's going down here can't be said to be true, that doesn't mean we're meaningless. Turn up. Hello? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still
Sound cut
here.
out.
Oh, Blood, you don't know about all that, but you tell Marvus you're glad he's here with you. Marvus smiles and puts his arm around your shoulders. In spite of it all, he makes you feel real. You stare into the ever-increasing panes of cloud glass as they shift and scintillate, I don't know, in your vision.
Effervescing and scintillate, by the way.
Okay. Things are coming apart at the seams. Subatomic concepts scream from the insides of your ears, and the infinity of pure dimension blossoms between the tenuous threads holding the essence of your being together. The terminality of paradox space reaches into you from the inside out, takes hold of reality in its inescapable grasp. Continuity inverts and cascades into a cataclysmic fractal. What happens will happen, and what can't must not. And no measure of hubris for man or god or clown can semi the cosmic imposition of truth.
Stymie.
You close your eyes for just a moment, but when you open them again, there's nothing to see at all. Okay.
You know, Zebra died horribly, and we had a really deep philosophical conversation with a cool clown guy. I honestly don't feel that was a bad timeline. I mean, it resulted in a paradox, but like...
I mean, like that, yeah, aside from that, it was great. That's true. I guess no. Are you kidding? You say there's no way you're going to vault over the barricade and try to make an attempt at Marvus's life, fake or not. For one thing, that plan is fucking stupid and you'd immediately die. Second of all, Marvus is a beautiful artist, with soul of a true poet, and you're not going to help anyone attempt to exploit his celebrity for selfish purposes. You conclusively inform Zebra that he'll have to find someone else to help him hoodwink Sweet Marvus. What's that? I can't hear you over all the incredibly vicious and beautiful rapping. You tell Zebra that you're not doing it, you just want to listen to the rest of the concert and enjoy yourself. Zebra seems horribly taken aback. What? But I thought we were friends. Not that kind of friend. You reassure Zebra that you are friends, but affirming a friendship doesn't necessarily require one to embark on a ludicrous suicide pact in order to socially hornswoggle over vertically gifted Mary Andrea. You're hardly Thelma and Louise, get real. He tells Zebra he needs to find someone else to help him cozy up to the clown's inner circle. Zebra harumphs, offended, and decides to go. He starts to push away through the crowd down the length of the barricade. And with that, you're free to turn your gaze back to his verifiable eminence and embrace the new piece you have found in his artwork. But Marvus only keeps distributing dope and the crowd gets rowdier. Before you know it, you find yourself being wrenched into the writhing mass, jostled about, and subsumed by the transcendent power of the music. Your pitiful little body becomes nothing but a note in his wicked symphony, a raindrop washed away in the rapids. Some time ago, you might have accepted your fate here and allowed yourself to be trampled by the mob, but you have something to live for now. Even as you feel yourself begin to physically break, those sick beats tether you spiritually to the mortal world, as ruthless bars cut through the heat and sweat and the heavy stench of piss and meat, drawing you like a sailor to the siren's song. Not even death could wrench you free of his grasp. In spite of the odds, you manage to muscle your way back up to the fore. You exit the mosh pit, a shattered mess, bruised, battered, and broken, hanging on by only the most tenuous of threads. As you look around you get a glimpse of your fate. You're surrounded on all sides by trolls who have collapsed and been trampled dead, faces frozen in a rictus of ecstasy. Given how lightheaded you feel, you aren't long for this world either, but you can carry on a bit further for him. Wow, he's really something else, that Marvus, you think, as your wasted body slumps against the barricade. It's all you can do to lift your weak head and stare up at him, drinking up his boundless audiovisual wonder as your vision starts to blur and your consciousness begins to fade. You jerk back to your senses when you feel something splashing over your face. You cast around for the source of the water. To your disbelief, you see that it was Marvus. He's standing at the edge of the stage, gyrating his hips to the choreography as he looks down at you in concern. It's like staring into the groin of an angel. Okay. Okay then. He waits for a break in his verse to cover his mic and mouth to you.
Yo, buddy, you right?
You can't believe how gracious he is. To see a humble fan such as yourself in pain and stop to make sure you're okay. Is this real, or have you passed into heaven after all? Your gaze tracks up from his well-proportioned crotch, okay, to a generous view offered by the plunging neckline of his shirt. You're all right now. You've never been more right in your life. Marvus jumps off the stage into the impassable purgatory that separates it from the pit, the gods from the mortals, and makes his way over to you. He stretches out his hands.
Hey, babe. Want to dance?
Your broken bones are no obstacle. Instinct propels you over the barricade and into his arms. He catches you like you've both been waiting your entire lives for this moment. You've never felt more warm or safe. He scoops you up with his incredible strength and carries you back onto the stage. Marvus is talking into his mic again, so his words reverberate for the entire field.
Look what we got here. Seems like a fucking low blood. Cut to the front of the line, my friends. Lol.
The remainder of the crowd that's still conscious boos viciously. What's happening? Oh, you're clearly bleeding red from being stomped in the face several times in the mosh pit, and in the murky lights of the stage, it looks awfully burgundy.
Them has been naughty.
That face. I don't know, that's just kind of a fun face. Yes, you've been so naughty, you say to the mic.
No remorse. For damn shame.
The crowd cheers.
Well, we clearly got a criminal on our damn hands. What do you think I should do with him? Opinions? This guy is a showman and a half.
He is. He kind of is, yeah. The response is disjointed, but still functionally unanimous. Amidst the clamor, one word keeps ringing out clearly. Kill, 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 kill.
Wow, you don't want me to kill him? Shit, that's brutal. Well, I ain't one to let down my fans, you hear me? Justice be fucking done, my merry men. What better way to cap off a wicked night than with a little gutter blood shower? Lol.
Well, you're hardly qualified to question Marvus's judgment if what he wants is to publicly execute you for a crowd of his adoring fans. You guess that's how it has to be. You surrender completely as Marvus directs the stagehands to help him erect some sort of makeshift crucifix. You don't struggle as he carries you over and ties you up, suspended above the crowd. As the spotlights shine on you, burning hot, the audience's rapturous screams deafen you. But all you can see is Marvus approaching you rigged in the otherworldly light. His back is to the crowd, and you're the only one who can see his face like this, intense, focused, merciless. A gaze meant only for you. You never felt more special. He steps up before you, face to face. You stare into his eyes enthralled. Such clear eyes, so potent and beautiful. Your only regret is that you can't gaze into them for longer. Marvus takes a hold of his cane and a fluid motion draws out its rapier's sharp hidden blade. The metal glints 1,000 colors in the light of the stage, almost as awesome as he is. You hope he strikes true. Yours will be a magnificent death. But then he winks. A fleeting moment of understanding passes between you. Could it be that Marvus is the friend you've been searching for after all? Oh! Is it a fool's flight or fancy you dream so? He draws in close, rearing up as if to strike, and as he raises his blade, his jacket lifts up too, exposing his vulnerable clown pit. If you leaned in just now, maybe, just maybe, you could... Who the fuck wrote this route? I'm sorry,
so
what?
I wanted to go with Take a Whiff because that's referenced in Test Request and for no other reason. I'm not here to sniff clown armpits, I'm really not.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Also, Slappy has no self-respect anyway.
That's true. Well, let's do it. Let's be weird as fuck. You can't help yourself. You lean right into the clown's swampy armpit and breathe in deep. The scent is like nothing you've ever smelled before. It's like a thick flavor of ambrosia glazed over an ogre's musk. Wet teriyaki socks sprinkled with a seasoning of pure passion. Who the fuck wrote this? Powerful, indomitable, beyond intoxicating. You can't get enough. You sniff and then you snuff, sucking in as much of the hot, salty odor as your nostrils as possible. So delicious. I don't like having to read these lines. I don't enjoy reading these lines. The fresh bouquet of exertion brought about by the hard, relentless work freely flowing as a manifestation of his raw talent. You could spend the rest of your life nestled into this gesture's fragrant pit, which might be literally what happens. You hope he allows you the indulgence. When you're so bold, you might even take a hearty lick. No! Oh, how could it possibly take...
weird fetishistic bullshit going on in this route.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like, what the fuck?
Don't get me wrong. Marvus is cool.
But this is getting weird.
This is weird.
Yeah. It's getting a little bit weird. How could it possibly taste if the smell alone was so wonderful? Would that you could suckle even a single drop of that sweet gesture's hunky tang. I don't like having to read these lines. Imagine some poor Let's Player having to read every we're being fucking called out here. The game's fucking calling us out. You imagine some poor Let's Player having to read every delectable sentence in these odoriferous paragraphs aloud and get a little hot and bothered. Is the game fucking calling us out? Like, our discomfort? Is it calling us out? Being uncomfortable with this? Like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm not hot and bothered by it. I'm kind of weirded out, actually, but...
There's some weird meta shit that's happening here, too. Like, there's some weird fetishism, but it's also weirdly meta. What the fuck is going on right now?
That's true. That's very true.
Like, it's not as traumatizing, but this is weirding me out almost as much as Copram and Follicle's route.
It kind of is, yeah. But you weren't quite that brave. Marvus brings down the blade. It sinks deep into the wood beside your neck. But this is no accident. A gesture so powerful surely would not miss. He's sparing your life. You're so humble that your bladder evacuates on the spot. Who the fuck wrote this word? Your urine is as hot on your legs as Marvus's gaze is on your face. You really wish that you'd fought to bring your concert diaper. I have to read this. I have to fucking read this.
Do you need me to take over?
No, I can do it. It's just, I have to read this. Marvus gives you a look and then glances pointedly to his case sword. You take the hit and make an exaggerated reaction like you've just been stabbed for real. You grab at your neck, sputtering fluently. The high bloods right at the front can tell you haven't really been stabbed. They're a little disappointed, but it's not as clear to the trolls further back. Somewhere around the mass of teal bloods, the illusion really hits home. They start going fucking bonkers back there. The apeshit wave travels back to the Burgundies, and then ricochets back home to the high bloods. You crack one eye open as you play dead. This time it's nothing like the controlled mosh during the performance. This is pure anarchy. A whirlwind of death and brutality. Trolls are at each other's throats, literally ripping each other apart with fang and claw. All the blood spraying into the air makes the humidity really skyrocket. At some point when the racket becomes less than melodic, the clowns all come out for a final encore to drown out the sounds of the screaming. They start wrapping up a real storm. After about 45 seconds, a full 2/3 of the crowd are completely dead on the ground. Well, he did say that would happen. The performance really ends once every single troll in the crowd has collapsed either from death or exhaustion. Only once the audience has worn itself out do the clowns call it quits. They all start filing backstage, but for Marvus, he stops to take you down from the cross. Your beloved clown cradles you in his arms like the piata. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I tried. Gently petting your blood-splattered face.
You hanging in there, fam?
You tell him yes, while continuing to play dead. You don't want to fool his ruse.
Okay, Gravy.
He picks you back up and carries you off the stage. The clowns have a little grave room set up on the backstage venue, where they're all mixing and relaxing after the show. Nobody seems concerned to see Marvus carrying a 90% dead alien, or particularly rattled about witnessing thousands of trolls savagely cannibalize each other. Either. Is this just like a Dionysian festival, kind of?
Yes, of course it is. What do you think? Yes,
I mean, I thought it was, but like...
Subjugulator. They're supposed to do that. Everyone goes insane and kills each other. That's the point. Although at Dionysian festivals, not everyone killed each other. Mostly they killed, like, some people would get killed, and also a lot of people would fuck each other while drunk and high off their minds.
Well, I mean, there are a bunch of people that brought buckets to this, so... And not everybody died. So it kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It kind of is.
Hey, you want a Sandy?
A what?
A Sando.
You're sorry?
Grub bread.
You say you're...
Sandy.
Yeah, sure, you're pretty hungry. Marvus drops you off on a couch and you lounge indulgently as you wait for her to walk to the catering table and pick you something up. He's back quickly.
Think you can move your arms or nothing, buddy?
You say not really. You're pretty sure all of your bones are basically obliterated.
Aw, shiz, that's rough. Sorry, man. Guess that's my fault. Lol. Okay, say ah.
You don't even question it. You obey him unthinkingly. You nearly choke when he kneels beside you and starts pressing broken off pieces of grub sandwich past your trembling lips. Tears well up at the corners of your eyes. How could someone like you be so lucky to touch and be held by the closest thing on this mortal plane to a god? You're sure there are thousands, millions of trolls out there who would die to get to experience anything like this. It's humbling. What did you do to deserve this? You're so weak from the concert that even moving your jaw is hard, and your star-stricken sobbing doesn't help either. Whenever a sloppy bit of grub paste filling dribbles down your chin, Marvus is right there to catch it and shove it back into your eager maw. He makes unyielding eye contact with you as he allows you to suck the maggoty meal from his fingers. You tell him he's beautiful. Okay.
A lot of people say that. I don't know about all that, though. I'm just a humble rhyme juggler with a lot of,
cash money and 10 guys filming what I'm doing right now.
When you're finished eating your sandwich, Marvus kindly wipes all the mess off your face. He's so gracious, you can't believe it. You're so glad the camera crew is here to capture all of this so you can watch it and relive the experience of receiving his kindness again later. You guess you need an answer to the question, why did Marvus decide to save you? Marvus takes a moment to think on it.
Well, I guess I saw the guy you was.
You was what?
Or the guy you was with, sorry. That W was with. This guy's leet speak is hard to get a handle on because he changes it constantly.
It's
I
not
guess I
that
saw you the
hard.
guy you was with, and I was like, shit. What a sorry MFer. You know that buddy be bad news, fam. Lol.
He is.
Okay. Marvus is kind of great, actually.
He is. I mean, I already knew this, but yeah.
This route is deeply fucking weird, and it's messing with my brain in some very new and disturbing ways, but, like, Marvus is kind of... Marvus may actually be one of my favorite characters that we've met so far.
I mean, he is pretty cool. He is pretty cool. What? Zebra? No way. Zebra's your friend. All of your friends are cool.
Damn, cuz. That's wrong. You okay? You sick? You real friends with that Inding Dong? Yeah, that's a good description of...
It is. Yeah.
Look, you know he blacklisted all the fucking way out in Clown Town.
What? Really? Why?
He's just a social climber, man. That big blue buddy be a fucking parasite.
He is. That's not completely wrong. He kind of is. He's blacklisted by all clowns? He doesn't seem to know that.
Well, we ain't about to go and tell his chatty ass. Gonna go and write a wicked nasty review about my business. So we be looking out for ourselves. Us clowns real close-knit, you know? He probably knows Jahoot.
He probably he definitely does, actually. Like, he's confirmed to know Shahoot in Hiveswap, actually.
Take care of each other and all that shiz.
Like, he knows basically all of the clowns in this game. Like, canonically. If we're assuming Hiveswap is canon.
Hiveswap is at least as canon as Friendsim, if not more.
I mean, like, yeah, he knows all of them. Then he knows literally all of them. Yeah, he knows all the clowns.
You feel me? Well, I certainly smelled you. You know, if you think about it, clowns really are the most disprivileged socioeconomic class. Don't think that's true. Then again, that expression tells me that he's joking.
Yeah. You have thought about that. It's making more and more sense recently. You love to engage in nuanced discourse with him about clown privilege or lack of thereof.
Yeah, cuz. Though we nominally occupy a position of structural power in the institutional hierarchy of the chemo spectrum, we be subjugated into dampening our powers like no other. Because the agents of the Empress and their abyssal hierarchy know that the unimpeded strength of me and my sick nasty buddies would easily unseat Sea Dwellers of the dominant caste. He's not wrong. Like...
He's not.
Like, basically, aside from the Empress herself, who has a horror terror on her side and can survive its wrath, Most Sea Dwellers are useless fucks, which is why they're given no actual power and are only given the ceremonial duty of guarding the Empress, who doesn't really need guarding, while the Subjugulators are the ones who actually run society.
That's true. That's actually really fucking true. Yep. That actually is true.
And if Purple Blood be objectively superior to Violet in every metric of strength, power, and influence, despite chromatically preceding them, and the only reason we don't rise up and rip the fins off their slimy little faces is an eternity of religious persecution and culturally immutable precedent, what does that say about the validity of the rest of the system?
You consider your mind thoroughly blown. Wow, this guy's incredibly woke and not the least bit racist at all. You're really inspired by how good he is as both an artist and a man.
Damn straight. Maybe all this Spectrum needs is a little chaos to shake things up. Really makes you fucking think, you hear me?
God, you do hear him. It makes so much sense. He makes so much sense. You make so much sense together. Marvus smiles at you as you hold his hands. You don't want to let go. You're afraid you'll never see him again if you do. You're not sure you can live like that. Maybe you can't always be by his side, but maybe sometimes, occasionally. All you want is to make a friend.
Of course I'll be your buddy. Here, why don't you add me on Chitter? And next time I got to show, maybe I'll hook you up with some, wicked
tickets.
Wicked tickets. Again, I don't have a hard time voicing him, but this particular lead is really throwing me off.
I can read it pretty well, but...
VI fucking T, B. Rust Emperors represent.
I can read it pretty well, but I'm used to reading weird as fuck speak.
Make sure to check out my link in my bio for merch if you're interested.
The promise fills you with so much hope and light. Wait, I just realized he's referencing Troll Call, because you can click it, and, there's a thing where it can take you to, the t-shirt for each, symbol for each character. Oh my god, he's fucking, breaking the fourth wall hard. The promise fills you with so much hope and light and joy, you can't believe it. You did it. You've made the greatest, most ultimate friend of them all. Your shining light, your reason for being. Marvus, the truest buddy you've ever had. That was pretty good. That was some good shit. That was pretty good.
That was really weird.
It was weird, but good.
I kind of want an AU where Friska gets really into his music and does start thinking, hey, why are this... she already doesn't really care as much about the hemospectrum as one might think. Yes, she views low bloods as below her, but she also views high bloods as below her. She just views everyone as below her. And they are below her.
Yeah? Well, okay, maybe not Dirk, but...
Okay, besides him.
Yeah. They're, kind of on even footing.
Personally, I don't mind being below her. There are worse places to be.
First, do you need something to drink? Do you? I mean, that's a pretty fair point. I also wouldn't mind being below Vriska. I also wouldn't mind being below Dirk. But anyway.
No, you wouldn't.
Anyway, though, this is where we're gonna end it for tonight. This was Friendsim. Please check out our coffee. Please check out our YouTube and our Twitter. We're gonna be doing all of our streams at 11 from now on for like the late night streams, so like make sure you tune in for that. So yeah, I hope everybody has a good night. This is Team Demon Kitty out.